Time BET Sports Woman of the Year, Angel Reese, says she doesn't pay attention to what folks say about her online because no one has ever said a negative word about her in person. Uh-oh. So what have you been talking about for the last 17 or 18 months? Uh-oh. I hope she realizes she just admitted this and did so on camera with...
Yeah, obviously don't worry about what's going on online. I get so much love in person. I haven't ever had a negative encounter in person ever. And I've been going through this for 3 years. I've never had an encounter in person that was negative. So people online are behind the keyboard for a reason. And I don't worry about that stuff. I trust my work. My teammates trust me. And I was telling Milla today, like, she felt like she was having a rough day. And I was like, how many times have I had a rough day? And you picked me up. So don't get down on yourself. I know my teammates have my back, my coaches have my back, and that's all that really matters. I don't have to prove anything to anybody but myself.
Ariel Atkins pulled off a rare post-game plot twist. One moment, she's asking the media to stick to basketball. The next, she's hyping up Angel Reese like it's prom night and Angel just shut down the red carpet. The game itself, practically a footnote. That press conference had it all: drama, deflection, and a surprise motivational speech. Was it a post-game recap or a TED Talk sprinkled with defensive metrics? Hard to tell. But one thing's for sure. The MIC was hot, the takes were hotter, and Ariel made it clear. No stray shade was reaching Angel on her watch.
About our team, basketball-wise, we appreciate it, but all the other nonsense, like, it's irrelevant. Like, we're here to play basketball and do what we do. We're having a hard time right now at the end of the day. Just a 23-year-old kid who handles herself with grace. Her crown is heavy. So whatever else, like, y'all want to come at her for the way that she acts, she has to build the wall. She has to have the wall. Because if she doesn't, people will break her down. Not only just because of the way she looks, but it's because of the way she carries herself. She knows who she is. And we ain't gonna break her down for that. So whatever other questions y'all got, like, I'm hoping it's just about basketball.
And here we are, tuning into yet another episode of the Angel Reese saga, now streaming live from whatever alternate timeline she's currently using to narrate her life. Let's be real. Keeping up with Angel's post-game explanations is like trying to build IKEA furniture without the manual, only to realize halfway through that the pieces aren't even from the same set.
Also, guys, after that defeat by the New York Liberty in the post-game conference interview, Ariel Atkins had so many good words of affirmation to give and to provide to Angel Reese. Again, I loved it so much. You know, she was like, how old are you? Angel Reese was like, I'm 23. She's like, this is a 23-year-old kid. Her crown is so heavy. Okay, she had to put that crown on her, adjust that crown on the queen. She's like, Angel Reese is, her crown is heavy. She has to deal with so much on the daily basis. Okay, on the daily basis, both online and offline, on the court, off the court, etc., etc. And Ariel Atkins just wanted to give her flowers and reaffirm Angel Reese, like, it's not all in your head. We understand, like, I understand that you're under a tremendous amount of pressure, stress, and somewhat abuse. Okay, if we're talking about the online things that's been going on, and allegedly some things that have been going on the court as it pertains to the Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever.
One night, she's the misunderstood underdog, just a girl trying to play the game she loves. The next, she's the unapologetic villain, fueling herself on booze like they're protein shakes. Fast forward to another media scrum, and now she's a symbol of empowerment, just here to hoop. As if just hooping explains every flagrant foul, every mean mug, and every mid-game WWE tryout.
It looks like Angel Reese, well, it looks like she's just been caught in what could certainly be taken as in a lie. All right? All these things that she says she has dealt with over the last year, all these encounters of racism. Remember the guy that I guess, was out there waiting for him supposedly, and when the team was coming out, and of course we saw footage of that, and there was nothing malicious to it whatsoever that anybody could see. And then of course the Indiana Fever fans were yelling racist.
But here's the plot twist. When the stats dip, the stories sink even lower. The excuses start running suicides. She's injured. She's exhausted. She's being silenced. She's unfairly targeted. But the moment she puts up a double-double, the narrative flips faster than a pancake at an all-you-can-eat brunch. Suddenly, she's got all the smoke, all the sound bites, and a fresh batch of inspirational TikToks queued up like she just won an Oscar, when really, she just pieced together a respectable fourth quarter.
Reese, the most coddled, babied professional athlete in all of sports, continues to be the most babied and coddled professional athlete in all of sports, continues to have her peers say, "You go, girl. You be unapologetically yourself. Don't worry how rude, how arrogant, and how disrespectful you are. Don't worry about all the lies that you perpetrate. Don't worry."
Because that's the pattern, isn't it? The better the box score, the bolder the backstory. When she's cooking, she's conquering the system. When she's off, suddenly it's the system cooking her. Every post-game becomes a choose-your-own-adventure, except the ending's already written. You just have to check the rebound column to know which chapter you're getting. And yet, beneath all the theatrics, there's one glaring truth hiding in plain sight. Truth is easy to remember. Lies. They need an entire production crew. An Angel. She's running out of stagehands. There's only so many times you can reinvent yourself before the audience starts squinting and asking, wait, wasn't she the hero last week? Or the victim? Or the misunderstood rebel? Or was it the bullied underdog? It's character whiplash. Somebody get the fans a neck brace. What made this latest incident so rich, so gloriously unhinged, was that it wasn't just another clumsy misstep. It was a full-blown truth quake. One of those rare moments where reality yanked the mic from her hand and shouted, "Enough." Because this wasn't just a hot take. Or a dramatized anecdote. It was a lie, not an oopsie. Not a miscommunication. A lie, served bold, loud, and fully committed.
Everybody, or is this a very special, specific kind of criticism that Angel Reese gets because of specifically the way she comports herself? And if her crown is heavy, maybe BET should stop giving her crowns. For the third straight year, named BET Sportswoman of the Year. I haven't even known who Angel Reese was for 3 years. How the does she have 3 of these? I didn't know who she was until I started watching Caitlin Clark. She's already stacking these things like cordwood. And it's not setting well with everybody. Clarissa Shields is one of the people that it's not setting well with. She's the baddest woman on the planet. The greatest female boxer.
And if we're all playing by the same rules, and that's a very generous if, then this absolutely deserves consequences. A fine. A suspension. Something. Because if another player pulled a stunt like this, the league would have already slapped a graphic on their Instagram story with a stern caption and a 3-game timeout. But with Angel, we're supposed to treat it like interpretive art. She didn't lie. She was just expressing herself, right? And my cat doesn't knock over glasses. He's just exploring gravity. We're watching the league bend itself into origami trying to protect the plot line. While players like Caitlin Clark are out here getting ragdolled like it's open tryouts for Mortal Kombat, WNBA edition. Meanwhile, Angel moonwalks around accountability like it's a new drill in her training regimen. Call it what you want, strategy, PR, performance art. But this wasn't spin. This was an F5 level tornado of storytelling. And somewhere in Kansas, Dorothy's clutching her pearls. Let's not act like this is new either. This isn't Angel's first rodeo with narrative gymnastics. No, this is a woman who's rebranded herself more times than a Silicon Valley startup. 1 week, she's the villain, proudly feeding off the booze. The next, she's calling foul over being hated.
Going on online. I get so much love in person. I haven't ever had a negative encounter in person ever. And I've been going through this for 3 years. I've never had an encounter in person that was negative. So people online are behind a keyboard for a reason. And I don't worry about that stuff. I trust my work. My teammates trust me. And I was telling Milla today, like, she felt like she was having a rough day. And I was like, how many times have I had a rough day? And you picked me up. So don't get down on yourself. I know my teammates have my back, my coaches have my back, and that's all that really matters. I don't have to prove anything to anybody but myself and my teammates.
You hear that, guys? You hear that? She doesn't need to prove herself to anyone other than herself and her teammates. So all those fans that she continues to let down, she doesn't owe you guys a damn.
And the wildest part, she doesn't even need to do all this. Angel Reese is actually a good player. That's the real tragedy. She's got the talent, the athleticism, the presence. When she locks in, she's magnetic. But the constant side quests keep pulling her off the main mission. Every game could be a showcase of skill, but somehow, it always morphs into a performance of persona. But here's the cold truth. Basketball doesn't care about your storyline. It doesn't care about your tweets, your merch, or how many times you've rebranded your public image. The scoreboard has no bias. And when it's not in her favor, the tales get taller, the performance is louder, and the spotlight harsher. Now that light. It's catching every inconsistency in crisp, unforgiving 4K dot, and the mask. It's slipping. Because this time, the lie wasn't clever.it, wasn't a slick misdirection.it, was an insult to anyone with Wi-Fi and a working memory. And while we'd love to chalk it up as a heat-of-the-moment blunder, a byproduct of pressure or stress, the truth is far more telling. This is a pattern. A routine. Wherever the accountability line is drawn, Angel isn't just crossing it, she's cartwheeling over it like it's a floor exercise. And this is the moment the league has to make a decision. Because if a lie this blatant, this public, this provably false, doesn't trigger consequences, then what exactly does? What message are you sending to every other player who plays it straight, tells the truth, and still gets fined for breathing too loud in a post-game interview? The league isn't just managing a player now, it's setting precedent. And the clock is ticking.